Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla, and for today's video, I want to talk about how to significantly change your financial situation in 1 year. At the time of me filming this and the time that I'm uploading this, it is January 2023. And January, the new year, is typically the time when people start feeling the itch to change their life in many different areas of their life, and one big area being their finances. But I think it's really important for me to mention at the start of this video that you can change your situation at any point in time. You can start making changes in February, in July, in November, whatever time of year it is, whatever day of the week, whatever day in the month, you can start making changes, and that includes your finances. There is that quote, I believe it's Bill Gates' quote, where he said that many people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And that is true, but you can do a lot in 1 year. And keep in mind that 1 year is 1/10 of that 10-year period, and each year makes a difference. I personally have experienced dramatic changes from 1 year to the next. I've also seen other people experience the same thing, where they started at one point and 1 year later they were somewhere completely different, and they could list off all of these accomplishments with their finances, and that can be you as well. With a topic like this, I could literally throw out dozens of things that you could do this year to significantly change your finances, but I really wanted to narrow in on the big ticket items that you can do this year to really help your finances. So I have just 5 things that I'm going to focus on for this video. Before we get into those 5 things, I do want to give a quick shout out and huge thank you to Talent Stacker for sponsoring this video. And of course, I will talk about the Talent Stacker program in just a moment. First thing is to start budgeting and tracking. I know that this is kind of a unsexy tip. It's boring, it's basic, you were expecting it, but it's so true, because if you're not aware of where your money is going, if you're not making a plan for yourself, then nothing's going to change. Because if you're in a situation where you're unhappy with your finances, you probably haven't started on your financial journey yet, or you're on your financial journey and you have been working on it. You have noticed some improvements. And I would guess that a big part of that has been budgeting and tracking. What I mean by tracking is, 1, going back and looking at your spending, because you're probably underestimating what you're paying for certain things. I have worked with many people and their finances, and they will say like, oh, I probably only spend $100-something on food out in the week. But then we take a look at their finances, we dive deeper, and it's actually hundreds of dollars in the week and over $1,000 in the month. If you're not paying attention to where your money is going, it's very easy to lose track of it, and that makes complete sense. You just think you're spending something, or you don't remember things, and then you end up spending way more in many categories. The other important thing with tracking is it gives you data, and without data, you won't be able to see your accomplishments. So if you're not tracking your net worth right now, if you don't know where your finances stand currently, then 1 year from now, you're not going to be able to see how much you improved. You're also not going to be able to see how much you improved 10 years later. And I'm telling you, once you start your financial journey and you do start getting more into your finances, you will regret not having that data. So in my opinion, tracking is a huge thing for changing your financial situation. And then of course, budgeting. I think budgeting should be done every single month. Some people choose to do it every couple of weeks along with their paychecks, but I say at least every month, because every month is going to look a little bit different. Budgeting does not need to be difficult. It's actually quite simple. You'll first want to start with your income, how much you expect to make in the month, and then how much of that money will be spent on each category in your life. You have to pay for rent, you have to pay your utility bills, you have to pay for groceries, you have to pay for your pets or your children, and all these other things that you could list out. And if you list everything out and then you realize that, oh, I may not have enough income to cover all these things that I'm spending, you start making changes. And this is where you can see where you've been going wrong in the past. And I'm telling you, if you start budgeting now, do it every single month, and you will see a major difference with your finances. You'll probably see a big difference within a few months. And of course, I do want to call out that within that budget, you can make room for paying off debt, for saving, for investing. And if you're doing all 3 of those things, or one or 2 of those things, that's going to make a big difference in your net worth and your financial situation in general. Number 2, work on transitioning careers. This is something that I did in 2022. This definitely was not unique to me. That time was called the Great Resignation or the Great Transition. I actually made a video on it. But depending on your current job, your current career, you can switch careers and make a higher pay. You could potentially cut out a commute if you end up working remote. You may have more flexibility. You may have better benefits. All of these things add up and will significantly change your financial situation over the year. For me, back in 2020, 2021, I knew that I wanted to transition careers, but I didn't want to go back to school. I didn't want to spend a ton of money, and I didn't want to have to learn anything really, really difficult that would take years and years for me to learn. And this is where today's sponsor comes in, Talent Stacker. I am so excited about this because Talent Stacker is near and dear to me because that is how I transitioned careers. And that's how I'm in the situation that I am now. And it's a growing program where I feel confident saying that if you want to make a career transition, then you can do this too. So Talent Stacker is a career development program. And the main focus is Salesforce. I'm not gonna get into the nitty-gritty of Salesforce or anything of that sort. I'm not gonna talk about what I do on a day-to-day basis. I will explain that in future videos. But basically, Salesforce is a CRM platform, a customer relationship management platform. And through this program, it really helps guide you on landing a career in the Salesforce industry. I know when you hear that, you may be thinking, I have no experience in that. I have no tech background. I have no Salesforce background. That does not matter. Neither did I. And neither did hundreds of other people who landed Salesforce careers in 2021 and 2022. Literally 1 year ago of me filming this, I was a microbiologist. I was an environmental microbiologist, and I was in that career for 4 years. I went to school for that. And I knew I wanted to make a change. I heard about the Talent Stacker program through a podcast. I dug more into it. I decided to sign up. And then within a year of me enrolling in Talent Stacker, I landed a Salesforce career. So I am no longer a microbiologist. I never had Salesforce experience. I never had tech experience, anything of that sort. And I am living, breathing proof that it is possible. The Talent Stacker program will give you the tools to help get you there. If you don't want to commit yet, that is perfectly fine. You can sign up for their free 5-day challenge, which I will have linked down below. And you can take your time going through that and learn a little bit more about the program, a little bit more about Salesforce, and see if this is something that you are interested in. I do suggest starting that challenge as soon as possible because January 2023 Talent Stacker enrollment is open the whole time. So typically there's a waiting period. So you would sign up for the challenge and you have to wait some time before you can actually enroll. But January is open enrollment. So you could start working toward a new career and diving into all the resources right away if you wanted to. I do want to share some stats because, we just ended 2022 and there were some big stats that were announced by Talent Stacker. The first thing is that over 500 Talent Stacker members landed a Salesforce career in 2022. I was one of those people, and the salaries across those 500 plus jobs totaled over $40 million. So you can expect to land a job making over $60,000. 3 companies hired over 10 Talent Stacker members each. And then there were 2 companies that hired over 20 Talent Stackers each. Companies are recognizing the Talent Stacker program. If you mention it to a recruiter, they will likely know what it is. So we are being recognized for our work and dedication to learning a new platform. Some people get certified and land a job really, really quickly within a few months, less than 6 months. Some people take a little bit longer. For myself, it took me basically a year, a little bit less than a year, and now I have been working in my Salesforce career for 10 months. Of course, you're still gonna need to put in the work. It is a challenge, but it's a lot of fun, and I 100% back up Talent Stacker and what they offer. If you're interested, I will have my link down below, or you can go to talentstacker.com/Layla, and you can either enroll for all of January 2023 open enrollment, or you can start their free 5-day challenge. But yes, transitioning careers in general, no matter which career you end up going to, can be a major thing for your financial situation because you may be low income currently, or you may be in a job that you're really unhappy with, and then you can transition into something that has a lot more flexibility, has a higher pay, allows you to work from home, anything that you may be looking for. I think the problem is that a lot of people limit themselves and think that that would be too difficult, or I can't do that because of X, Y, Z, but the time is passing anyway. That's something I always think about. The time is passing anyway, so you might as well try to do something, whatever it is that you want to go after. I do think that it is probably worth it for you because you probably can do it and it will help you in more ways than one. I know for myself that my career transition really opened up a lot of opportunities for me, especially financially, because I was working in a job where the income was kind of capped. So even after a few years, I probably wouldn't get past the six-figure mark, or if I did, it would be low six figures. Over the next couple of years, I do expect to go into six-figure income, well into six-figure income, and I feel confident in saying that. I also really appreciate the challenge that comes along with learning something new and going into a new career. I've definitely stepped out of my comfort zone, and this has opened up opportunities in other areas of my life. I feel more confident speaking with others, speaking in front of multiple people. I figure things out on my own. I'm able to hit deadlines. So overall, I feel like it's developed me more as a person. And then of course, it's benefited me a ton with my finances because now I have a 401k with a 6% match, and I have great health insurance, and my income is higher. I work from home, so I'm saving money on commuting and time on commuting. Altogether, it has really changed my life for the better. I was able to make that change within a year, and many other people were able to as well, and that is crazy. So it's definitely something to look into if you are not happy currently. Number 3 is to cut expenses and negotiate your bills. Also, I can add on to that to shop around for your bills, because if you are just getting started with your finances, there's probably a lot of things that you can clean up and change in your financial situation, and that's where the big difference comes in. I'll run through a few examples. So first of all, your phone plan. You can switch to a lower plan. Mint Mobile, I always have that link down below. Not sponsored, of course, but just have my link down below. Your auto insurance or any type of insurance, you can definitely shop around, see if you can get a better rate with a different provider. If you have any medical bills, be sure to call and ask for a discount, or if there's any sort of relief. If you are low income, you can definitely get that medical bill lowered. I did this several times when I was younger and had a much lower income. If you have credit card debt, definitely call up your credit card companies and ask if they have a lower interest rate that they can offer. Now is a little bit of an iffy time, but it's still worth the call in my opinion. Check on any subscriptions that you may have. Are there things that you're not using? Are there things that you absolutely do not need and you can cut those out? You could probably save at least $50 there depending on what you have. Same thing with cable or other streaming services. I know that kind of goes along with the subscriptions, but maybe you could completely cut out cable and just get rid of a bill altogether. Anytime my lease comes up for renewal, they always are increasing the price. I always negotiate that, and every time I've negotiated it, they have lowered it. I will keep on pushing for it, even if it, saves me 30, 40 bucks, I will push for that. So definitely negotiate lower bills if you can. So yeah, there's just a few examples, but I think this is a big thing because if if you're paying, for example, if you're paying $100 for your phone bill and then you end up switching to Mint and pay $30 per month or less, you literally save hundreds of dollars in the year, like $800+. Then if you tie everything all together, if you're cutting out your phone bill, you're cutting out these subscriptions, and you start to add up the savings, it's potentially thousands of dollars in a year, and that thousands of dollars can be used toward your debt, your savings, your investments, your other financial goals, and you will see a year from now that there's a significant difference in your financial situation. Number 4 is to work with a financial coach. And I'm going to plug myself here because I do offer financial coaching, primarily with a focus on getting out of debt. And I have worked with probably over 20 people at this point. I've been doing it since 2020 and I absolutely love it. It is one of my favorite things to do. Y'all know how much I love talking about finances. So I would love to work with you. I do have some requirements. You have to be in the US and you have to be able to make the times that I can meet. But all of that information is on my website. I will link that down below. I do have a few options for you to choose from. So if you want to work with me for a few months or just a couple of sessions, or anything in between. I do have options. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or comment those down below and I will answer those. But I have worked with clients short-term and long-term, and I have seen significant changes with their finances. And so many times I have heard like, wow, this isn't that bad, or this is making a lot more sense. I can now see that it's possible for me to be debt-free in 1 year, 2 years. And typically all that you need is some clarification, a plan, and somebody to hold you accountable, and that's exactly what I'm here for. Sometimes it's a lot easier to face challenging things with somebody else, so I would happy to be that somebody else for your debt-free journey. Okay, and number 5, the final thing for this list is to start that side hustle. I know that not everybody is into side hustles or wants to do side hustles. That's perfectly fine. But if you're someone who's been thinking about it, or you've been wanting to start a side hustle, you've bought the stuff for it, or you've already done some research on it, go ahead and just get started. This is kind of going back to what I said before. The time is passing anyway, and you probably do have the time to squeeze something in. The reason I included this on this list is because it really can make a big difference. I know for myself that starting side hustles has significantly changed my life. I started this YouTube channel, for example, December 2019. I got monetized within about 9 months, 10 months. I was monetized by October. I started earning money, and now on a regular basis, I am making income from this YouTube channel, from my other side hustles, and it has opened many opportunities for me. So did starting a side hustle significantly change my life in 1 year? No, but it really, really helped because I started making a little bit of money, which allowed me to, cover a bill or two. And I think that's a good place to start. Ask yourself, how can I cover my phone bill this month? How can I cover all of my groceries this month? And you can slowly increase that, or just get creative with how you earn your money, so then you have one less bill to worry about. Like you have that side hustle to cover that bill, and I think that's a fun way of looking at it. And then as time goes, you can get more strategic and you'll gain more momentum and your income will slowly increase. Don't get stuck in the research, don't get stuck in the how-to or what if, what happens if this. Just go ahead and make a plan and get started with it, because the time is passing, and within a year you could potentially see a major difference from where you are today and where you will be then. All right, those are my 5 major tips for you to significantly change your life in 1 year. If you plan on doing any of these things, please comment down below and come back in a year and let us know how things are going, or keep us updated every couple of months, every few months if you want to. Thank you again to Talent Stacker for sponsoring this video. If y'all have any questions, just comment those down below. Otherwise, my link is in the description box. I hope you all have an amazing year and make a lot of progress with your finances. But no matter where you end up, just remember that progress is progress and every little bit counts. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.